Good evening, I'm Michael and you're watching Kini News, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. Last month, Yang di-Pertuan Agong advised all MPs to support Budget 2021 for the good of the country. However, Anwar Ibrahim said today that there is no guarantee that the opposition would fully back the budget. Opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim told Parliament today that the Budget 2021 tabled by the government on Friday may not receive full support unless it incorporates demands made by Pakatan Harapan MPs to take better care of the people.
Tapi saya tekankan di sini, saya tidak mahu ada andaian mudah. Ya, keadaan sekarang berbeza. Kerajaan dan Menteri Kewangan dan Perdana Menteri tahu bahawa belum ada penentuan dan kepastian belanjawan dalam bentuk sekarang kalau tidak dipindah untuk membela nasib rakyat yang kita yakini seperti mana kita tuntut, belum pasti belanjawan ini boleh dimoduskan dengan cara mudah.
In his debate of the Supply Bill 2021, Anwar said this in response to the speech delivered by Finance Minister Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz last week, which did not seem to attempt to secure bipartisan support for the budget as it did not incorporate demands made by Harapan MPs.
Jadi saya menyeru dan menggesa dengan tegas supaya Menteri Kewangan meneliti semula usaha menangani masalah COVID-19 dari segi belanjawan, penekanan aspek kesihatan dan lonjakan ekonomi yang disebut.
On Saturday, Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin said the government was mulling the possibility of expanding bipartisan cooperation with the opposition beyond Budget 2021. In an interview with Astro Awani, Muhyiddin said this may include inviting the opposition to sit on certain government meetings. He said he was considering inviting the opposition to be on the Economic Action Council or the meeting to manage COVID-19. However, UMNO Supreme Council member Mohammad Razlan Rafi strongly expressed objections to Muhyiddin's openness in engaging with the opposition. Razlan said Muhyiddin should quit instead of inviting the opposition to government meetings. In a statement on Sunday, Razlan alleged that Harapan had shown inaptitude towards handling the economy, and as a former Harapan ally, Muhyiddin should know better. Meanwhile, Amanah's Khalid Samad today expressed hope that the debates on Budget 2021 will make the government more receptive of Harapan's demands. Shah Alam MP Khalid Abdul Samad today defended the need to debate the Supply Bill Budget 2021.
Alhamdulillah, Yang di-Pertuan Agong telah menolak permohonan darurat dan telah mengeluarkan titah supaya bajet ini disokong. Tetapi baginda tidak mengatakan ataupun tidak menitah supaya disokong tanpa bahas. Dan inilah apa yang kita ingin lakukan, di mana bila kita bahas, kita harap kerajaan akan lebih prihatin dan peka terhadap segala permasalahan yang sedang dihadapi oleh rakyat.
Khalid said the nation's economic woes will not be resolved simply with the tabling of a unilateral budget by the government.
Masalah ekonomi negara perlu diatasi bersama dengan satu pendekatan yang menyeluruh dan sempurna, khususnya terhadap kaedah dan cara ditangani ancaman COVID-19 ini. Ramai yang menyatakan apabila darurat tak dapat diisytiharkan, maka diisytiharkan seakan-akan darurat apabila diisytiharkan PKPB di hampir seluruh semenanjung kecuali 3 negeri, iaitu Perlis, Kelantan dan Pahang, sedangkan logik dan rasional di sebalik pengisytiharan PKPB itu tidak dapat diterima secara logiknya.
Khalid's remarks came after opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim questioned the various projections made in the proposed budget, describing the Finance Ministry's numbers as unrealistic and irresponsible. Anwar also said the budget did not appear to incorporate the demands made by Pakatan Harapan MPs. New daily COVID-19 cases fell below 4 digits on Monday. However, there is a spike in Negeri Sembilan. Malaysia reported 972 new COVID-19 cases today, with Sabah and Negeri Sembilan reporting hundreds of cases respectively. Sabah continues to lead with 370 cases, followed by Negeri Sembilan with 260 new cases. Selangor comes in third with 137 cases. With 1,345 recoveries reported today, active cases in the country have dropped to 11,308 cases. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry also reported 8 new deaths related to COVID-19, bringing the total cumulative death toll to 294. During the Delhi press conference today, Health Ministry Director General Dr. Noresham Abdullah touched on why the government was forced to implement a CMCO in most states.
So now we need to re-look back again our strategy, so that's the reason why we need to enhance the CMCO and to limit the social activities. Any amplifying gathering, there's a risk of transmission of the infection. So we need to advise the public to stay at home. And if you need to, attend to urgent matters, make sure you comply to the SOP. So if we all stay at home, then we can break the transmission of the COVID-19 in the community.
Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has called on high-income earners to give up 10% of their salaries so it can be channeled to those in need. Former Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has suggested a 10% salary cut for all high-income earners in the public and private sectors. He said the money can then be used to provide food for the unemployed instead. And by high earner, Mahathir said anyone earning more than 20,000 ringgit per month. As for the definition of a high earner, Mahathir said anyone earning more than 20,000 ringgit per month. He said the cut would be a sacrifice, but he doesn't think it would hurt them. The Langkawi MP suggestion comes at a time when the COVID-19 outbreak has affected people's livelihoods and the economy. Mahathir added that the high-income earners are continuing to earn more than their daily needs, despite the pandemic, in contrast to those who have lost their jobs and income. Mahathir, who is the pro-tem chairperson of the new political party Pejuang, also proposed allowance and salary cuts for ministers and lawmakers. He said in the last 15 years, salaries have increased at a very high rate, as much as 25% each time. On top of that, ministers and MPs have been given numerous allowances. Mahathir claimed that such lucrative earning has caused those in positions of power to sacrifice their principles just to hold on to their posts. A typical salary for an MP is 25,700 ringgit, including a variety of allowances, which include an entertainment allowance of 2,500 ringgit a month and a computer allowance of up to 6,000 ringgit. This is on top of the MP's allocations for their respective constituencies, which is up to 3.5 million ringgit a year for government MPs and only 100,000 ringgit for opposition MPs. This next video may seem funny at first, but there's nothing really funny about road safety. So parents, keep an eye on your kids. Hats off to PDRM for acting swiftly. This child in Kampung Paya Chiga Jitra may not even be tall enough to sit properly on a motorcycle, but that didn't stop him from riding on a public road without a crash helmet and attempting to pull a wheelie. A video of the child with a Honda EX5 has gone viral on social media. Though it may appear funny, Kubang Pasu Police in Kedah have warned parents to keep an eye on their children, especially when it comes to road safety, because one wrong move could lead to serious injury or even death. As for the child, police managed to track him down and he was brought to the Kubang Pasu Police District Headquarters this evening, where he was given 3 summonses. One for riding a motor vehicle below the legal age limit, riding with expired road tax and without valid insurance, and not wearing a crash helmet. Action was also taken against the child's next of kin under Section 39, Bracket 5 of the Road Transport Act for allowing a minor to ride a motor vehicle. Coming up next, Bulletin TV3 has issued an apology to Kamala Harris. Stay tuned to find out why. TV3 has apologized for describing Kamala Devi Harris as anak pendatang tanpa izin dari India. TV3 was left red-faced after describing US Vice President-elect Kamala Devi Harris as the child of an illegal immigrant from India in its Bulletin 130 program. The Bulletin TV3 segment featured Harris' speech in Delaware following her election, where the newscaster made the incorrect statement.
Beliau turut melakar sejarah apabila muncul sebagai individu kulit hitam dan wanita berketurunan Asia pertama menyandang jawatan kedua terpenting di Amerika. anak pasangan Jamaica dan pendatang asing tanpa izin dari India itu menjadi pemecah stigma apabila muncul wanita kulit hitam pertama berkhidmat sebagai peguam California.
After realizing the mistake, the network issued a correction and an apology.
Kami ingin memohon maaf atas kekhilafan mengenai naib Presiden Amerika Syarikat yang baru, Kamala Harris. Beliau sebenarnya adalah anak imigran pasangan dari Jamaica dan India dan bukannya seperti yang dilaporkan.
Earlier today, MIC Senator Zafrul called out TV3's mistake in a series of tweets. He pointed out that Harris' late mother, Shamala Gopalan, was a biomedical scientist who had settled in the US at the age of 19 to study at the University of California. Pari said Bulletin TV3 had insulted Harris' mother at the moment of her greatest achievement. The MIC leader added that he couldn't understand the love some people have with the word pendatang. US President-elect Joe Biden will announce a 12-member task force to deal with the coronavirus pandemic, kicking off a busy week. Making the resurgent coronavirus his immediate priority, US President-elect Joe Biden on Monday will announce a 12-member task force to deal with the pandemic. It will be charged with developing a blueprint for containing the disease once Biden takes office in January. Biden has also promised that he will ask Dr. Anthony Fauci, who is the top US infectious disease expert who has clashed with President Donald Trump, to stay on in his role as director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. The task force announced it will kick off a busy week that will see Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris moving forward with the presidential transition on a number of fronts. Ron Klain, a political tactician who also ran the Obama administration's response to an Ebola outbreak in 2014, is widely seen as a leading choice to be Biden's initial chief of staff. The president-elect has a host of top economic positions to fill, including Secretary of the Treasury, where Federal Reserve Governor Lael Brainard is seen as a top contender. Biden's selection for the post must be approved by the US Senate, which may be still in Republican hands. This could threaten the chances of progressive candidates for this and other roles, including Senator Elizabeth Warren, despite her background in financial regulation. Global coronavirus infections exceeded 50 million on Sunday, with a second wave of the virus in the past 30 days accounting for a quarter of the total. The number of coronavirus infections worldwide topped 50 million on Sunday, according to a Reuters tally driven by surges in the United States and Europe. October was the worst month for the pandemic so far, with the US becoming the first country to report more than 100,000 daily cases. A former FDA commissioner told CBS Face the Nation that Americans should be extra cautious as they prepare to gather for the Thanksgiving holiday at the end of November.
Prudent to try to get tested if you're going to bring together a group of people. But if you have individuals who are vulnerable in that setting, I think you still need to be very careful if you're going to be exposing younger people in a broader group to older individuals who are vulnerable.
The warning came as the US faces its worst surge. On Saturday, the country hit another grim milestone, reporting a record of more than 130,000 new daily cases. Meanwhile, Europe, with about 12 million cases, is the worst affected region, overtaking Latin America. It also makes up almost a quarter of coronavirus deaths. The surge is testing healthcare systems across Europe and prompting Germany, France and Britain to order many citizens back to their homes again. More than 1.25 million people have died from the respiratory disease that emerged in China last year. And that is all for me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'll be back with more tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Prasad Michael. Thank you for watching.